Alright. Hey everyone. Time to do all my usual shenanigans stuff. And then get back to working on the game. Pretty much have more things to fix today. I want to get it where I can just run through the whole game with what I have. And then go from there. Probably work on bosses after that and just adding in enemies and anything else necessary to kind of get the game working. Maybe I'll get my game at least in the playtest state before Thomas Rush releases his game outright. I was pretty well along to do that, but not anymore for sure. Fixing problems in the background. Hey Cortez, how's it going? Yeah, before I'm even finished setting up. Nice, nice. Yeah, literally just as I started. Damn. Most impressive. Discord, then we'll do the links for the Discord. See if I can farm some new members. Fixing weight painting issues. That's exciting. Wow. Hopefully, yeah, it's on a cool model or something. What are you working on? Should be everything I need to do. 3D character? What sort of character? I mean, if you want to say. You don't have to. If you want to. I was working on this room. This now. This is way too quiet of music for right now. That's fine, I guess. Hello, in, buddy. Pal, friend. Oh, I don't have double jump. Why didn't I enable double jump? I'm so stupid. Making my life harder. It hasn't loaded Charlie yet, so pineapple for streamer as nickname Pineapple? Oh, nice. Apparently every fruit needs to be a streamer at this point, is what I've learned. I guess I should have got myself a food avatar or something. Food or hot chicks? Or maybe a hot chick who's somehow a food. Oh my god, could that be the next level for streaming? The hot chick who's a food avatar? Like if I make like Ice Cream Girl or something, is that like a thing? Next week there's someone who's Ice Cream Girl, like god damn it. I was joking, people. You're not supposed to do this. Oh, it ran out. Oops. Okay, this one kind of sucks, so you can get stuck in it. Yeah, I just need like a female voice changer, and I'll just make my character like a female doll or something. Disney Avatar, a small you can use in Mikoverse to Echo Miko. Oh. Oh my gosh, a Miku stan. No. There's nothing wrong with that, I guess. Actually, I guess, okay, I guess. Oh my gosh, 7 stream streak. Nice, nice, nice. Get all the points. I just hoping that one day you can get a 360 stream streak, because that means I stream, like, you know, 360 times in a row or something or whatever. I don't really know how it works, but I'm sure it works somehow. Oh no! I missed horribly. I'm so bad at my own game. Okay, there's no miss. She can't move. No punishment for me. Do, 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 do. I deliberately changed this mechanic here so you could do things like this on these books, make use of these. Something that was not possible until recently. I do think Terraform cleans this up quite a bit. I think I actually fixed everything in this room before I logged off last night. I just never tested it. So, this should be hella easy. Nope, there's one more book. It's supposed to be here. I think those 3 should have actually been there, and one of these books should have actually been over there. I forgot about that. I just gave them a new ability. They got to use it. Yep. I was very industrious before I logged off, evidently. I don't remember what I was doing when I logged off. It was like, I think 6:30 in the morning. Today I don't know if I can stream till 6:30 in the morning. I have to have another client that's really early. I did get a couple of, what, 2.5 hours sleep before the stream, so that should be probably enough to get the job done. Where I can, you know, log off somewhere closer to like 6 and then still get like the 6 hours, have time to have food, and then meet a client. Makes these easier to run on top of. Yeah, the library is a dumpster. All the cubes aren't even over here. Everything's probably got rotated 90 degrees, so I'm gonna have to move all that. Alright, well at least this room's done. None of these moved, so that should be fine. It was just the bombing crap. Actually, to be fair, I think the only rooms that have this problem are going to be like, this one doesn't even have it. But the room size looks too big, I think. Whatever. We'll get to this room first. But then after this, there aren't many ones that actually have spawn things to worry about. Yeah, this is just completely rotated off to the side. Damn. This won't be fun. This room is a dumpster fire. Well, I guess it only has 23 things to place. Well, 0 is Charlotte. Actually, let's look at the room size. Yeah, it looks like it goes... Oh, no, it's in this room. And some of these tracks, I should delete them. Because this is most certainly not something I want to hear. All this other sounds like it's weird 8-bit or 16-bit crap. I really don't usually like that much. I'll say it. I think this is actually the line to start the room. Double check. One of the regrets I have with streaming on YouTube is that I can't just listen to whatever music I want like I could on Twitch. Yeah. I just crank on Spotify or something and that'd be that. Just listen to whatever Spotify recommends for the most part. Oh no, this is not that. Yeah. I was moving the wrong room again. In reality, I just need this room back and it should work. This is the one that's too big. That's not gonna work. Yeah, YouTube's kind of been a thorn in my side when it comes to streaming, but you get more more exposure. Plus, it's basically an infinite record of all my streams. Like YouTube never deletes anything, so. Meanwhile, Twitch most certainly deletes it. So, blackmail, I guess, but yeah. I guess technically I could have a separate thing of music I'm listening to, but that's kind of weird. Like an extra one of these here. Oh, you're just the wrong direction entirely. Perfect, perfect. 10 out of 10. Oh, 44 and 17, so look at this, and then 17 to get it close. Yeah, it looks a little better. Doot, 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 doot. I'm just gonna get the world and get it over with. The world just letting me cheat is very nice. Oh, I gotta touch all the walls. Oh. I gotta touch those walls, the windows themselves, because those are the farthest out you can get to in this area. There's all the books outside. Wonderful. It does make me think that I could actually have books leading to a different level or something, like for the possessed objects, but that goes against the whole, you know, the building itself, because like the haunting is in the building and nowhere else. So I probably don't want to do that. I don't really want to get up there. I want to get down here. I just want to tap the door. Make sure it doesn't load the Moonlight Garden. Oh, Moonlight Garden. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Now to move all these stupid things in the right location. Guess I'll load the library so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so Well, I'm just gonna stricken this one from the world. I hate it. Oh, there's a physically delete selected files? Hell yeah. Yes, indeed. Apparently this AIMP thingy or whatever, it's like a music player thing, actually just has a right click and physically delete things. Removal, and it's just physically delete selected files. I love it. I understand what I'm using this for. With this big pile of garbage I got from Humble Bundle. I don't want to buy any more music packs ever again. I'll pay someone to make the exact music I want before I do that ever again. Because it's like, here's like thousands of files to go through. You want to listen to them all? No? No, I don't. It takes so long to do this. Oh my god. I still have new tracks in here and just been randoming this playlist for I don't know how long. I actually went through and deleted a bunch of crap before I even started. Just, actually, I think it was like 1,000 files left when I was done. It was so many. I think it was like 3 Humble music packs I got. It was too much. Where's the room info here? Hello. Get inside this thing here. I loaded the library and I can't find that? Terrible. Yeah, it's right there. I hate that location. I hate it very much. It's the worst location. Jesus. Huh. Well, one of the things I can do is I could move this bookshelf some so it's not in that way. And then move it back later. I'm going to have to reselect this over and over and over. So here's where she spawns. Movable light cube. So number 1 is here. I want to move a light cube over here, I guess. I don't remember the exact locations where everything was at, but it's okay. I do recall including a movable light cube somewhere around this general vicinity. Not too close, because you move it too close and they'll they won't have to pick it up and move it. Something like that. Maybe here. Not the worst location. And then another movable light cube. Wherever 2 is. Yeah, it went out here. Hey Jens, how's it going? We're definitely just in time to be just in time. As is always the case, I never know for what, but you're just in time for it. Get the feeling these went to... Oh, these were over in the corner. Oh god, I remember that now. Yeah, pretty good. I mean, you know, doing some game dev, feeling okay, you know. Can't complain too much. Get to go to a chiropractor tomorrow. That'll be nice. Maybe this wasn't what's supposed to be over here. Yep, another day in the life. Well, those are all the cubes. I remember them. I'll just move things where I know I need to be, and I'll figure it out from there. It's fine. Oh, thanks. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely can use the occasional fix-up from a chiropractor, though I'm needing them a lot less. I went, you know, this will be an entire month since I last saw her. That's pretty good for me. Oh yeah, I agree. I had a bad chiropractor for a while, and he like kind of scared me off of getting any work done on my neck, and I finally learned not to listen to, well, most of my doctors, honestly. They're very incompetent. And, went. And it was glorious. But, I mean, I went from, like walking kind of like all stiff and robotic because I was so messed up. So, like, you know, I think I went to, like, 5 or 6 times over the next couple months. And now I walk around pretty well. Actually pretty normal. I mean, I've also done physical therapy and things like that too, but the initial stuff was with her. Actually, it might have been 3 months ago that I did that. 4 months ago? Yeah, it'd probably be 4 months because it's been a month wait since I was last there. Yeah, the last time before it, it was like I went 2 weeks before I needed another one again. I was just like not doing that great after 2 weeks, and now, I mean, because I've been doing physical therapy for like the last month, I think that probably helped a lot too. For me, not needing it. Oh yeah. Spine just gets out of place. The spine's ornery. It really is. It's just a very ornery thing. Like, nope, I'm not working today. You're like, now, but why? Like, nope, not working. Damn it. Very testy. A handful of pops and suddenly you're good again. It's great. Like, you know, it's of all the things I've ever had, you know, done medically, that has got to be the fastest acting thing. Like, you're just like instantly like a large amount better. Maybe not perfectly better, but a large amount better. If your chiropractor is good. If your chiropractor sucks, well, you know, probably not better. Yeah, probably not. Oh yeah, it's crazy. Super worth it. Made worse, yeah. There have been ones that made me feel a bit worse afterwards. It just depends. Like, I've been to a bunch of different chiropractors over the years, mostly because I had previous health problems, like from doing elder care. That was quite a while ago. And not related specifically to these problems, though maybe related to them, because those were like 14 years ago or something. And I went to all kinds of weird ones. Ones that, you know, it's just like they're like a McDonald's type of setup where they just want you to come in a million times over. It's just wham bam, thank you ma'am. They're kind of feel like you got ripped off, and they don't really help that much necessarily. I went to ones that use the little actuator things, which are like a they don't do the crack thingy so much as it's like a strange little piston thingy, like a handheld piston, and they hit various joints with that. That doesn't work. I don't know why anybody thinks that works. It is terrible. It's for people who are terrified of chiropractors to make you think something did happen. It's not. And then I went to ones that use little like TENS units thingies, like we're saying, just like they basically send electricity through your body to try to. I'm told it's supposed to relax you. It does not relax me, by the way. It actually causes me to be very tensed up. It's like, this is not a good plan. You people suck. So. Some do massage, like machine-based massage beforehand. The current one I have does a machine-based massage. She does the, you know, the normal pop stuff and everything like that. And then she also does a TENS thingy afterwards, which... No, she doesn't. She has a... another massage table. She puts you on a thing that runs like a it runs like this weird rolly thing under your back over and over all the time. It's weird. Yeah, the massage ones, yeah. Those ones, yeah. I like the ones that do all the massage stuff because it just makes you feel like you got your money's worth. Otherwise, it's like, I don't know, man. This seems kind of lame. I have no idea if these are close enough. I'm just guessing. I'm gonna have to reposition these. I know it. Yeah. I think that, like, the little TENS thingy can work. It's just, I think they were using it too much because the physical therapy people have been using it with ice packs as, like, on my way out. And they only do it for, like, 5 to 8 minutes. And they would have me lay there for like half an hour at that chiropractor and then charge me for it. And it's like, this is terrible. This doesn't do anything. Why? So. Not great. 0 out of 10, do not like. I almost want additional things going this way, but then there's no reason to go through this maze up here, and I kind of want a reason to go through the maze. Wish I could select multiples of these at once so bad. Sadly, the 3D widgets do not do that. A small scale for my core and Achilles. Never understood it. And they told me it's supposed to just relax the muscles by basically forcing them to tense so often that they don't tense anymore. That's what they say. I don't know. I mean, I'm willing to try whatever voodoo doctor crap at this point because, you know, health problems, man. You know, you do what you gotta. But... yeah, well, I asked about it when I was talking to physical therapist, and she's like, "Yep, this is what it's supposed to do." But she asked, you know, you want to try it, and does it work or whatever, and things like that. And I was like, well, I don't know, I just kind of lay there and relax anyway, so. It's either that or I just head home. It doesn't cost me anything extra, so I was like, you know, whatever. But I'm not sure if it actually does anything. Now for me, traction is the thing that does the good stuff. That's the best. That's where they put my, like, you know, head in like a device to hold it like that and then raise it up so it stretches my neck. I keep telling her it's going to make me a couple inches taller one of these days. I'm already 6 feet, but hey, you know, I hear 6'2" is the new benchmark, right? But hey, I don't know if it works. Could be just voodoo doctor weird crap. Who knows? We're just basically lab experiments, you know, for, or actually, yeah, for them to work on. Like, they just test whatever they try and hope it works. Right? Oh, weird main electricity thing? I mean, maybe that's part of it too. Maybe they're charging me up, man. Maybe I'm actually a Frankenstein's monster. That'd be a good one. All this time, no one told me. And you give me more electricity, so I'm powered up. Hell yeah. Or I could be a robot. Oh my gosh. I'm the worst robot if I'm a robot. Because I'm just like... have plenty of health problems. Terrible thing. What? I thought it would reselect it. It did not reselect it. No. You suck. Somehow unselected. Yeah. Elon's scariest technology. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. This seems like a thing that could go horribly wrong in so many ways. I mean, if you have no other option, I guess you gotta do what you gotta do, but... I've seen enough science fiction things to do the dystopian things where they download people's... into other people's bodies, or, you know, upload them into, like, little matrix thingies. That way you have, like, what, Altered Carbon, where they put different personalities in different bodies, and then, Upload, where they uploaded people into, like, a digital afterlife, where they were basically just selling you shit forever. If you didn't have any money, then they didn't give you any time. You just basically sat asleep the whole time. Yeah. But really, like, you know, collecting data, I think the most horrible thing that's most likely is they could just beam advertisements to your brain. Why do I suddenly feel the need to buy this? Oh yeah, they have to advertise it. They just tell you want to buy something. For your search history, yeah. Well, just think about it, you know, like you're, with all those things like that, it won't be uploading to some personal computer, it'll be uploading to their servers, right? And Google just got in trouble for not clearing your, actually they were keeping track of everything you were doing in the private tabs, to the surprise of nobody, because Google's an evil company. Yeah, I know I'm streaming on YouTube. I said what I said, Google. I said what I said. Yep, that's what I'm saying. Advertise your brain. There's no hope. You know, they just beam it right to you, whatever you need to be told about. It's gonna be a dystopian world. That's why they need all those data centers so they could, you know, Neuralink us all up. And then eventually they convince you to get in the pod because, you know, they, the world outside is so terrible, but in the pod you can have whatever you want. I remember an episode of like Stargate SG-1 where they encountered a world where people were just living in these pods because their world had gone to basically shit, and they're just like, okay, well, stay in the pods, but by the time they got there, it was like a paradise out there because they've been in pods for like 1,000 years. I also decided to wear my water. Don't mind me. Yeah. There's so much sci-fi stuff for that. On the other hand, if I ever want a robotic body, Neuralink will probably be what helps. Yeah, yeah. Those are all sci-fi things. Like Stargate SG-1 had that with the pod people. They were like just all living in a giant, like, basically they were in stasis pods where they were just being entertained by being connected up to a machine and everything like that. It was just beaming all the stuff into their heads. And they've been there for over 1,000 years, and they had gotten so bored because they had no new experiences. It was just their memories recycled over, and they were all like working together. Yeah, you remember that episode? Yeah, yeah. And then they were happy that SG-1 was there because it was all new memories, and they were making them relive all their nightmares and everything like that. Actually, not nightmares, but like the worst portions of their lives, because they just wanted new content. SG-1's such a great show. Feels a little too real now. I mean, it's not that far off, really. Just consider how fast technology has advanced. I mean, like, you know, 100 years ago, we, got a car, and now we're using brains, like, you know, we're connecting our brains up to machines. Like, it's pretty fast. And then think about 100 years before we got the car, what did we do? There wasn't a lot of technological advancement. Until, like, the, you know, the late 1800s did they have a lot of technological advancement at all. Like, as soon as we got electricity, like, which was like the 1870s, I think. I have to look that one up. Yeah. Love that show. Yeah, this SG-1's awesome. Also love Atlantis. I don't know why they didn't make a third show. It seems so good. They should have made a third show. I don't know what they did. Why they just decided to drop it. It's weird. No, no, they clearly didn't. I know what you're talking about. You can't prove a thing. Didn't happen. Nope. No show. Not real. Yeah, it was dog shit. It was a real dog shit. This is the worst show ever. Oh my god. I didn't even make it through it. I gave up. I got like the first episode of season 2. I was just falling asleep during the shows, which I don't normally do, but it was just so boring, and the plots were so stupid. And every time they were about to do something interesting, they would just end an episode in weird spots. It was just bad. Trashy acting, plots that never went anywhere, no stakes. I really just wanted, you know, the Destiny to take all of them and just send them out an airlock and continue on its merry way. And then just send me status reports of what it was doing. That would have been way better than whatever the hell happened there. Didn't happen, though. Where are these books supposed to go? That's a good question. There's a bunch of books out here. And I don't have a place for them. Why? Hmm. Hmm. I mean, I think you could just go from here over. Find out. No, Towards the Future, it's just flying cars. You forgot to mention it, yeah. CPU in your brain too, yeah. I mean, a lot of people grew up on the Jetsons, and that was way, way, way before my time. That was like, I think the 70s. I don't know how old the Jetsons is. It was ancient. When was the Jetsons made? Oh, okay. The Jetsons came out in 1962. Yeah, okay. Way before my time. They just like flying cars and, you know, robot maids and stuff like that. Made the future look good. They didn't realize you'd be hacking your brain. What was that show called? Oh yeah, like I think that Cyberpunk Edge Runners is probably closer to how we're going with things with body upgrades and the like. But obviously they wouldn't let you have like military grade things that you could fight with. That would not be a thing that they would allow on the streets for sure. I mean, there'd still be some out there, but it would not be anywhere near like the military would have way better. This new show is going to be made, but I already got dropped because concerns it wouldn't be good for the modern audience. So yeah, the new Stargate one there with they told the people who were like previously involved in SG1 about it, and then they were going to get the original creators on there and everything like that, and they were supposed to do it, and then Amazon heard it and said it wouldn't be good for a modern audience. Basically, it would be appeal too much to the fans, which is such a weird thing to say, you know, like, but if it appeals to the fans, then you have a whole audience. Why would you buy an IP to not appeal to its fans? Like, what, the IP is worthless then? Good spam filter? I think it'll be, you know, them constantly, you know, upgrading it and then the spam upgrading too. I think the real concern you should have is what if you get hacked? Like, just think of all the, you know, scammers now, and I mean, imagine if you had a download thing to your brain. How would that work for you, buddy? Probably not very well, huh? Oh. There's too many books here. I don't need as many. I need one more down here, though. That's too high. I had to move one of those down. I can't even jump back up. But yeah. Just think of all those, you know, people from India trying to hack your brain. It'll happen. Yep. Who's to say they can't just take you over? At first, they won't be able to. They'll install a lot of protections for Neuralink to be an okay thing. 100%. I'm not a huge fan of the whole thing like that, but I also recognize that I am slowly getting older, and you know, if I ever want a dream of like a robotic body, I'll need that to download me into the robotic body. True. Feels like it needs one more. I can grab that ledge too, so. Yep. Debug you, get you some new parts. Won't that be exciting? This seems too high of a jump. I'm not sure I'll be able to make this jump. I probably need one more book. You really can't jump very high. I mean, she could jump her entire body height, so that is really high when you think about it, but... yeah. It's gonna be an interesting future. Though, to be fair, if we're ever going to places like Mars and stuff, like, the human body isn't really designed to survive out there. So we'll have to have some sort of way to have robotic bodies. That's too high up. I need a double jump. That's too high. Because I mean, like, they send those, like, at the the astronauts up there, and those people are like, you know, the peak of, you know, health. Like they're like, you know, the top percentile of, like, you know, everything. And they're so physically fit and healthy and everything like that, and yet they come back and, you know, they're not in good shape anymore. They're like all messed up, and it's like, well, if they can't do it, I mean, I'm hardly, you know, I'm not physically fit at all, so not on that level. They're like Olympic level, and I'm not. So I come back, I would be basically in a wheelchair. It'd be terrible. Think it's cool? Scary? No. Yeah. I mean, the video games would be great. We'll get our holodeck soon enough, but it'll just be in your mind pretty much. So connect with the Neuralink, and you'll just imagine whatever you want. That'll be 100% how it'll work. Why do we need a big, huge reality thing when you can just lay in a bed and dream it all, right? Yeah. No plus size people up there. Body positivity, this. But no, like, the problem with space is that we're built to work with gravity. Our whole body works off of gravity, including sending waste through your body and everything like that. You know, the body, you know, pumping blood through like that. You know, there has to be, like, you know, pressure against things like that. There's all these things where it's just, once you're out in space, the conditions that are on Earth aren't there. So our artificial ones aren't close enough. So it just causes a lot of problems. You gotta do huge amounts of exercise too to make up for it. It's very, yeah, exactly. So we're gonna need, you know, some sort of way to fake gravity that's close enough so that our bodies can survive a long time up there. Because, I mean, you know, anyone going to Mars especially is gonna be there for a really long time, because they're gonna have to build enough infrastructure to get back. Right? Because when they get there, there won't be the infrastructure to make it work. You won't be able to get back. Like, you flew the rocket there, that's great. The rocket has no fuel to get back. It's so expensive to get fuel there. We get there because of gravity. Like, we get fuel to get out of the Earth's atmosphere, and then slingshot with gravity to get places. We don't need fuel to get there most that distance, because it's an insane amount of fuel. But you land on, like, Mars, and it's like, okay, well, how are you getting back? There's nowhere to, like, how does your rocket survive that long? Let's say you land the rocket there. How do you get back? How do you refill it? What if you need to build a new rocket? How long will that take to build the infrastructure to build a new rocket on a, like, you know, different planet? It's crazy. They're about to send machines there, but it's still a long way trip back unless they can somehow build the whole thing there, which maybe we could do. We could actually send machines to build infrastructure there, but if they're smart enough to build infrastructure, you got to wonder if they will just attack us when we arrive. Good question here. First, we got to build a lunar base first. I don't know why we're skipping the moon. It's right there. Yeah, no good snacks, exactly. Well, you don't want to drink recycled urine, because, you know, although they gotta keep all that water, you know, you gotta recycle your water and keep cleaning it over and over because you don't have any other water. Like, where do you think you were getting the water from? You brought your water. What are you talking about? Like, there's apparently some liquid water there, well, frozen water there underground, which they could eventually mine some of that. But again, infrastructure. When you first get there, the last thing you're doing is setting up mining. You got to set up an entire enclosure to live in and everything first. And then eventually you could probably do it. We'd have to keep shipping them stuff. But they need enough gravity to keep their body working during that time too. Like, I think we send machines that mine first, get the resources together, and then bring people. I think that's actually how it'll work, but, like, you know, when you think about it, it's like, this is not a great plan here. The moon's only, like, apparently 3 days away, so that's not a problem. You can easily make that. I mean, the other book. But otherwise, it's like, this is not a good plan. Not a good plan at all. I'm gonna add one extra book. I think these are books. What's 12? 12's a book, right? Sure is. But yeah, like, watching some things on it, and they're like, apparently the window that they can travel back and forth between like Mars and Earth is over 2 years. I think it was actually like 26 months or something. And it's like a 1 week or something in that time, or actually a few weeks, where they can actually successfully, like the planets are close enough, because the planets, they aren't just like moving in the same distance around the sun from each other. They have different speeds that they travel at, so they get farther apart, making your journey harder. This is terrible. Yeah. I think it would be dumber society if we're not able to look at a body one. Not looking at a body of water. Wait, what? Not quite sure what you're saying. What is number 2? Let's move away. Wait, were these supposed to be in here? Is that right? Okay. I lost the one I was looking for. Damn it. Here's somewhere, buddy. Oh, it's in here. That's where it was. No anything to look at. Film in space. Oh yeah, that's fair. I mean, you know, it's fun to look at the ocean. That's what you're talking about. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it helps. Well, here's the thing. Like the ocean, I guess it's calming in its own thing. And it just kind of give you a perspective on how small you are. And I think if you're out in space, you can pretty much look in any direction to get a perspective of how small you are, right? Because it's like sea of stars type of thing. There's like just infinite distance out in front of you. So it's kind of like you have ocean in all direction at that point. Just saying. I think the things you see out there will be incredible, and I mean, I don't think we'll reach a point in our lifetimes where we're, well, at least not in my lifetime, where we're able to really travel the stars in a meaningful way for anyone who's, you know, a normie. Obviously, we can probably achieve getting to Mars in my lifetime. Yeah. I like the Sea of Stars thing. I mean, I'm not really a big sci-fi guy. Like, there are exceptions, of course, but overall, I've always just thought, oh, you know, Sea of Stars is kind of cool. Or Star Ocean. Actually, they had the game Star Ocean. I like Star Ocean 3. And 4 was pretty fun. Didn't play the other ones. No, I did play 2. 2 sucked. I remember that. 2 sucked. This had some real design decisions that were questionable. I think it'll be interesting to think of the people who eventually there will be those who grow up in space stations who've never ever been to Earth, right? Seems like too many books, but maybe it's okay to have a staircase here. Kind of a little too easy, so I almost want to space it out more. Oh yeah, like it's terrifying because, you know, if you are out like trying to service the ship or something, and then you know, get cut off from the thing, like whatever's holding you anchored the ship, like you could just float off into space, and it's not like we have the capability of really maneuvering and do much. I guess we could add claws to the thing to try to grab you, but overall, you're not really going to have a very easy time, especially early on. Like early people, your chances of survival become very low at that point. I kind of want to space these out a bit. They're just a little too close together for my taste. That one's not okay at all. So it's definitely going to be a thing. Definitely. I don't know why I made this one so low. You just need to be low. But I'm also not volunteering to go into space. I really don't. Like, maybe if we can get the moon to the point where it's like a touristy thing, I might visit the moon. Unless technology advances even faster than I think it's going to advance, I don't see any way I can make it to Mars in my lifetime. They would have to extend my lifetime, I'd imagine, to have any hope. I could see us having a Mars, actually a lunar base in the next 15 years. 100%. Like one that you could actually visit. Sure, it's only 3 days away. You can go back and forth the whole time, anytime you want. It's really a joke to get to the moon by comparison to Mars. Remember, 26-month window, where if you went to Mars, you'd have to wait 26 months to come back. insane. The moon, you can come back the same day. Well, it takes a 3 day each way, but you're still the same distance from the Earth at all times, so you can easily get back. For people with barbecue? So far, I think yeah. It would be different. Like I said, I could see the moon. Like, I can definitely see the moon in the next 15 years being a tourist trap. 100%. I think by that point we probably have some kind of thing in Mars, but it's probably like just in its beginnings where we've sent the early stuff there. Elon originally had a prediction that would have us there like in the next handful of years. I think Elon's a fantastic genius for all the things he's made, 100%. I also think he's one hell of an optimist because even he revised it later. Like, we should do the moon first. Yeah, you think? Because once you're, on the moon, you don't have to worry about all that fuel to escape the gravity thing like you would on Earth. So you can actually easily go back and forth a lot more, like, better. Whereas on the Earth, you have to do like that problem. So they're going to need a way to essentially negate that. And they've had the whole space elevator idea before. Though I don't know how a space elevator even works, I guess, in the fact that even if you could build one, the pressure problem. But I guess if you can keep the pressure constantly the same, even though you were moving up through the Earth's atmosphere, just elevating it up slowly. Listen, I'm not an engineer, especially not like a rocket scientist or whatever. So I guess if you could just take a room and always keep the, the pressure and everything like, normal earthing like that, it'd be fine. But then the issue with that is that the pressure against the outside will be so heavy. Well, actually, the pressure from the inside, because the pressure inside will be greater than the pressure outside. Because the atmosphere keeps thinning the farther up you get. But I guess rockets work, and those have pressure inside that's obviously greater than outside, so they hold together. They must have the materials that can do it. So I think that they could probably pull off a space elevator, but just imagine how tall that thing would have to be. How many miles it is to get out of the atmosphere. Insane. So some crazy stuff to think about. Like, it's really exciting, and if you look past all the weird, dark possible options, what you'll see in your lifetime is crazy. Well, I guess it depends on how old you are now, but Seeing as how I'm 45, that's why I don't think I'll be ever setting foot on Mars, because I think it'll probably be a good 30 or 40 years before we have Mars available. And I just don't think that, 75-year-old me is going to want to take a trip to Mars without some kind of extra thing to help me out. I just get the sneaking suspicion that that's probably not a thing. Hear me out on this one. But 60-year-old me might be willing to, take a trip to the moon. If it's like some touristy crap, for sure. I'm just flubbing these jumps here. So, yeah, like I say, maybe Neuralink can get me there, get me a robotic body, and then I'll see the stars. So I'm both really excited by Neuralink and really terrified of it at the same time, depending upon which dark fantasy crap or actually dark sci-fi you go with. Like, if it's like Upload, where they just upload my brain to, like, a server and all that, that's much better than, freaking Edge Runners, God knows what, everyone killing each other stuff. Like, hear me out on this one. One of these seems a lot better than the other, for sure. These books need to be spaced apart even more again, or on top of each other. I almost think there shouldn't be a book here, because you can make this jump, and I could just space that one book out right there, and then jump there, and then from here you can jump up to here. Brings a star back. And then everyone died. The end. What a great story. I guess I don't need this book. I could have these lead somewhere else. I don't know where they would go though. Because you can climb your way up with these. I probably space these ones out a bit. And I could have them go all the way back up top if I wanted. I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah. I just think about what it'll be like for those people who like were born in space. Because, you know, once you get living quarters up on the moon, there'll be kids who are born on the moon, right? And that'll be like, they won't necessarily be heading home. Like, they might live like their whole teenage years and like that up to being an adult just on the moon and never having seen the Earth. And they'll come down here and it'll be crazy. It'll be so different for them. Even better when we get to Mars, what that'll be like, you know? Kind of wild. Guess I could just delete these ones here. I don't really know what I was going to do with them. I can't remember where they were at, which means I basically never used them. I guess so. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll just make it more efficient, so that's not terrible. Right? I don't need that on there. I just need to make note of all the ones. So I can probably get rid of 5, or I guess I can add another one to go higher up. Do I want to do that higher up? I mean, you can kind of drop down. You can just see it from over here. Yep. Get back on the ship. You can't get on Earth. That'll be crazy to see the commerce stuff. Like, was, oh gosh, what is that? I don't remember the name of this one. Sci-Fi did it recently. No, not recently. No, Sci-Fi. Netflix did it. No, Amazon took it over. It was a space thing, and they were entirely dealing with stuff in our own solar system. They'd set up various bases at various points. There was a lot more commerce between how it was done. So it was that level of technology. And I don't remember what it was called. Oh, The Expanse. There you go. So, like, you know, you had various space stations and like, but everything was within the solar system. And you had people who worked on, like, you know, the various like asteroid belts to, you know, mine things and stuff like that and bring it back. And they had issues with gravity on Earth. It was painful for them because they weren't used to that level of gravity. So they like basically, I mean, it didn't take very long for their bodies to adjust to that. So they were just used to less pressure, so they could never really come to Earth without help or being acclimated. But evolving to have bigger lungs or something, maybe. I mean, if we become a space race, you know, I mean, like, I imagine enough time will cause some degree of evolution there, for sure. I mean, the first obvious evolution thing, like evolution won't even necessarily take as long as you might think out there, and the reasoning for it is the people that they're going to send out, the people they're going to send out are going to be physically fit, like super fit. They're going to be kind of people who are like peak physical specimens, so those people are going to be the ones breeding out there, right? So they'll have better genetics overall. However, they'll have to contend with the fact that they are out in space, and right now it causes like degradation in the body. Yeah, kind of. Like, if they could solve that, like, you know, the whole issue with the degradation of the body there, then they would eventually turn into a much superior race. For sure. They wouldn't be sending out the, you know, infirmed or the people with diseases or like that. Like, they would be the people who are like perfect health. So as long as they bred amongst each other, they would actually eliminate all kinds of diseases, all kinds of genetic defects. I get the feeling that book just didn't spawn or didn't move to location, because this is an easy jump. Like, I was worried about this jump and it's like super easy. Huh. Yeah, but they would be taller, they'd be stronger, they'd be faster. They just keep breeding amongst that, and they would be. I mean, they already would. Even in the first generation, they would be like better than the average person here. Unless we send a bunch of diversity hires. Yeah, about that. Hey, ABCD. Why? What am I doing? Making a game called Poppet Quest. They're playing as woman is killed and her soul is stuffed into a doll. She's trying to escape the Whimsy Wonders toy store, which is like a theme park in a building where all the toys come to life at night. Yes. They try to kill each other. And right now I'm refixing stuff. Because I rotated the whole building. And I'm dumb. Because I have to fix a bunch of things that are rotated out. I've also data layered in a bunch of things, so there's stuff that should be loaded but isn't. You always better than basketball though? Nice. Hold out that belief. Anyway, ABC, if you want the tour, I can give you a tour. If you're interested. Sports beyond space. I mean, I imagine they can take like basketball with them pretty easy. Oh, crap loaded. I didn't put a nav mesh down. Guess I could use nav mesh over here. I mean, things like tennis and any of the ones that are smaller would be pretty easy to do. I don't think you'd take things like football or soccer with you because they need a bigger field. Now it seems like it'd be kind of hard to do early on. Later on, I could see you just do it. I don't see why you wouldn't. Well, you would, like, in order to have long-term out there, they have to establish gravity. It's just that simple. Without gravity, they'll have too many problems that just, you know, they need to resolve that. So they're going to obviously have that before they worry about too many sports. Otherwise, they'll just have like gyms and like limited gravity. And you can still play like, you know, you can play like office basketball types of things. You could do that kind of stuff. You could do sports of that nature. I'm trying to figure out where the rest of these books should go. I had like two more, actually 3 more books that went somewhere. I kind of like them having to break this and then jump down to the books. That's true. But there's nowhere else to go with the books unless I want an alternate way up. Just wear 5,000-pound boots? Yeah. Well, the problem is once something actually gets, you know, momentum, you will still have to change the momentum of those things. So if you have 5,000-pound boots on, it'll be great until you decide you want to change direction. And then you won't be able to because you have to move 5,000 pounds. Or you have to provide enough velocity to move it in a different direction. It's funny, Unreal Engine actually helps to, you know, train with this thought pattern because you'll add velocity to various things, and then if there's no counter velocity, there's enough force, it doesn't send it back. That's one of those out of the way. But just think, actually, you know, for the long voyages, they probably just put you in a capsule. I assume that's what happens. And they, you know, just connect you up to like Neuralink or something like that, or put you in some kind of stasis. Because imagine trying to keep people, you know, entertained for like, you know, how the, like, I don't know how many months it takes. It takes over like a year or something to reach Mars with our current stuff. Just imagine if you had to entertain all those people for that whole time. Like, you need all this extra infrastructure that you would want to spend on all the parts for when you get there to build stuff. So you wouldn't want to have them just need all that entertainment like that, unless they were going to land the spaceship and that was their home. Actually, to be fair, that might not be a bad idea. Send a spaceship that is just a home there and park it on Mars. You might not be able to lift off again, but as long as you could live in the spaceship, does it matter? Oh yeah. Obviously, the zero G's thing wouldn't be like, you know, they're not gonna have houses. It'll be like domes. It'll just like, I don't know if you've seen like the various, you know, sci-fi things where they have like just like a biodome. People live in the biodome. I mean, they're gonna have to build those. Obviously, they're not ideal, but space RV, yeah. Like Spaceballs. They were talking about making a part 2 of Spaceballs. I'm just saying. If that isn't named The Search for More Money, total party foul. Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money. Did I close my to-do list? Really? What's up? I get her a 5, 10, and 13, I guess, because I can't figure out where else I put them. Because I don't really need them anywhere. Because this you can get up into here. And over here you can just jump your way up there, so that's fine. And unless I'm going to have you head over this direction, I think here you can just jump your way up too. But eventually to see. I think there'll be people eventually who have little junker spaceships. I think that'll be a thing eventually, but obviously it ways off. They'll have to reach a point where the general public can get a spaceship. So I think that'll be like 80 to 100 years out, where people can get junker spaceships. That'd be my guess. That'll be you? Yeah, fair enough. We would need to establish a faster travel method, essentially, before, like, you know, individuals could really have a junker spaceship to get places, because they couldn't just have people vanishing for years off into a distance, like just the general public. It just wouldn't work. People would just be going out there and just dying because they'd have no way to really get them. It's just like, oh, you said an emergency thing. Oh, we'll be here in 3, 4, 5 years. Okay. Hope you can survive till then, buddy. This isn't a deserted island. Pretty tough. Make you want to make a space game? Well, that's fair, you know. I mean, there's a lot of neat ideas out there. I've seen lots of different sci-fi things along the way. I mean, it might not be my literal favorite genre, but doesn't mean I don't like it. It's just favorite. But it's a lot of fun to think about. You just have infinite possibilities. And I love all the weird stuff about deep space and stuff like that. You know, the weird voids in space. That was even a theory where we might actually be in a void ourselves. And that's why everything's so far apart, because a lot of other places that we can spy have like stars far closer. So, but they have these giant voids where stars are super far apart and we might be in a void. Sucks to be us, I guess. I also seen theories about how we actually live inside of a black hole. I still think that, you know, black holes are just one half of a quasar. Because, you know, they have the quasars that are just firing energy out into space. And it makes sense if a black hole was just pulling the thing in there and it's just firing it back out. Otherwise, why do the quasars have these incredible amounts of power that let them just shoot these huge beams across disgusting amounts of space? The Earth is flat, yeah. Well, don't you know it's riding on the back of 4 turtles? It's riding on the back of a giant... no. 4 elephants riding on the back of a giant space turtle. Is that what you've seen? I thought everyone knew that. Yeah. Silly you. Duin, I believe is his name? No. Maybe? No. Yeah, let me get you a real picture of it. Yeah, this is our world, don't you know? I thought you knew this. Perfect. Can't see the fourth elephant back there, but rest assured the fourth elephant is there. Theories about there only being 3 elephants are clearly mistaken. Science has definitely proven that there is a fourth elephant back there. For sure. This world's so fun. Or they're just lampooning everything. We gotta learn to steer our turtle. That's how we'll get through space. We'll just, you know, send the Earth to wherever we need by just steering our turtle. That's how every, you know, galactic species will eventually go. You just get a giant lasso the turtle or something like that and just start directing it. I don't know. Sure. Why not? Could work. Is there another one we have? Yeah, probably. And then I guess 11 is also trash. Those 3 of him. Can always add more books later if I decide I need them. Remove 13 and 13 from this one. Actually, we'll do 11 and 11. I really wish I'd made this out of structs ages ago. At the time, I didn't quite understand as well as I do now, but it is what it is, you know? I have no idea why all these were here. And 5 was also the last one I didn't think was necessary. Not really. I could have more floating books in the library. It would almost seem kind of nice, but I just didn't build it very well for that. I don't know, I think I'd almost rather make an absurd sci-fi thing versus like a realistic one. So I mean, there's so much space for realistic stuff. In so many different eras you could put, you know, there's the you know, the stellar exploration era. Actually, there's where we are now, where we're basically just able to get to our moon. And then there's like stellar exploration, or there's the whole, you know, get to the first planet and then explore a whole solar system, and then reach other solar systems, and then, you know, eventually other galaxies. Like, how far are we doing? And then there's absurd things like roping a giant space turtle and whatever. They should be different. See the thing where they had like was it the Voyager satellite? I think it was just Voyager 1, where it actually made it outside of the entire solar system.
Hello there.
Hey Lepus, how's it going? It was like the first thing we ever had that made it out of the solar system. And when it got out there, they discovered that it was like ludicrously hot. But heat's not really what you think it is out there. It doesn't even melt you like that. It's just the amount of activity from all the molecules moving around. They were saying, so it didn't actually incinerate the satellite. So it was like, oh, it's like 5 million degrees. Like, wouldn't that melt the satellite? Well, its energy is not quite the same. The temperature is like, so what is this temperature thing if it doesn't do that? Weird. Finally had time to pass by. Nice, nice. Welcome, welcome. You're here to talk about space with us, right? And how games about giant space turtles are the best game you could make, right? Like half realistic space stuff, half stupid crap. How long before the first Space McDonald's happens? Just curious. What are people's bets on the first Space McDonald's? I mean, it's obviously going to be on the moon, right? So, how long before lunar McDonald's happens? And do you think they'll serve real beef? Or is it going to be some bizarre tofu crap because they can't get beef up there? I mean, it's only going to be a few days away. They can get beef there, right? I mean, they can't really get beef into their own restaurants now, so I guess maybe not. Take that, McDonald's. Does the pink slime stuff survive well in space? With their pink slime burgers. Interesting. Or like Taco Bell. If you get explosive diarrhea in space and there's just no gravity, what even happens? It just kind of floats everywhere. These are terrible questions to ask, but these will come up, by the way. That's right. Taco Bell instantly means explosive diarrhea. I don't eat there, so. I live in California. There's a Mexican restaurant on every corner. Why the hell would I eat at Taco Bell? This works. This room should be pretty fixed up, I think. These aren't controlled by that. I gotta make the codes for that thing more interesting, like have different pictures and stuff. There's definitely extra things that can make stuff look much nicer. What are you? Why are you? Number 11 is just kicking it up here. Well, this 11. A movable light cube. This should actually be over here. Yep. I remember laughing because the current statistic going around X is that more people die in India. No, it started with more people die from heat in Europe than people die from guns in America. Okay, that's crazy. Sure, you know they don't have AC because they're low tech over there. I guess I don't know. But then they showed that like something like 4x the people in India die from explosive diarrhea than people who die from guns in the US. And I was like, what? What? This is a thing? Oh my god. Oh my gosh. The diarrhea is apparently, like, explosive diarrhea is a scary thing, evidently. There's something like, I don't remember people they said died from it every year. It was crazy. Like, just wash your stuff, you fools. Wash your stuff, trust me. Better that way. Just wash it. You won't get diarrhea. And don't eat Taco Bell. I don't think they have Taco Bell in India, but I'm still gonna blame Taco Bell anyway. We'll get take that Taco Bell. Yeah, that cube goes there. I have to make the enemies tougher but spawn less, I think. I want to be more interesting we actually get like some tactics against them. Or if I want to get really technical with this, I could actually have the I could literally put enemies in every location using the Puppet Master. And then when you get close to that location, it spawns the enemies in. It might be better than the random system. It also means they'd be in front of you. It also means it would take really long to set up. I think in the future that might be what has to happen. So I can finally individually place stuff where I want instead of just randomly placing things. And hoping that the algorithm I set up gets the job done. Sometimes it's pretty brutal though. I could have a space area in this game, all the space toys. The only problem is most of that was like, I think this just predates that too much. This would have been like Jules Verne time, like, you know, Journey to the center of the Earth and things like that. But there wasn't really a lot of space stuff. I think Aliens got popularized to like War of the Worlds. And I think that was the 30s? I don't know. War of the Worlds. When was the original one? Oh, no, I am wrong. H.G. Wells published it, and I serialized it in 1897 and published it in 1898. So there could have actually been like some sort of alien stories. I mean, like, there were alien stories before, but something that we could recognize like nowadays. Hey, Rabbiteer, how's it going? Oh yeah, I had like a bunch of health problems. It's the story of my game dev career. I lose huge amounts of time to health problems. Lost almost like 6 months, basically. Yep. Like, over the course of my game dev career, like I started in like 2019, and I think I've lost something like 2.5 years to health problems over that time. I didn't start on this game. I started with RPG Maker in 2019. I think it was near the end of 2019 too. It would have had to have been because I started because of the fires nearby that were making it where it was too toxic to go outside, and I was bored as hell. So I was like, I'm gonna pick up RPG Maker and play with it. So it had to be in like the fall. Yeah. And in that time, 2.5 years. That's not even including random months that I lost along the way. It's probably been more than that. I might have lost as much as 3 years in that time. So comparatively, I haven't been a game dev for all that long. I mean, technically over a long period of time, but so little of it actually. Like, I actually forgot a bunch of stuff. Because, you know, I learned a bunch of stuff for Unreal Engine and then had like 2 years of health problems. Yeah, long enough. I mean, you know, Unreal Engine's really easy to use. As far as game dev engines go. It's definitely the easiest one I've ever used. Hey, Eddie, how's it going? Yeah, hell, pretty much. I lost a lot of time. My disastrous game dev career. I will finish this game. It'll be like on my tombstone as far as this is going, but I'll finish the game eventually. This game better make enough money because I'm gonna have to hire people to make the next game because I don't know if my health will be good enough for another game. Apparently. Tell you about it? Yeah. Pretty much, yeah, it's just, you know, it's an unhealthy thing to sit in front of a computer all this time. It just is. What do you want? It's unhealthy. And the older you get, the harder it is to do that. To avoid it, exactly. As long as you keep working on it. The worst mistake you can ever make is to just throw it all away and start over. I see people do it all the time. Like, I'm never going to finish, so I'm going to start something else. You just threw away all that work. Why would you do that? Now you still have to do all the same amount of work again. Yeah, exactly. Well, I say, you know, you can move a mountain, you know, one pebble at a time. This game is my mountain. And I'm moving it one pebble at a time. Sometimes I gotta take breaks because I'm such a wimp, apparently. I don't know. I've been getting in far better shape, so physical therapy will do that for you at the very least. Maybe it'll fix my problems too. Yeah, what was the oh gosh, what is the Greek mythology thing where the guy's rolling the boulder perpetually up the hill? I guess to be fair, that one's just eternal. This is not really eternal so much as, you know, there is an end. Sisyphus, yeah, that's the one. Brought fire to us or something like that, and then was condemned to roll a boulder up the hill forever. I think that's the one. I could be mixing up my Greek mythology. Not gonna lie, it's not my strongest suit, for sure. But work, yeah, exactly. Even as endpoints, that's something. It's not, maybe not as accurate. It's definitely more closer to the proverb of, you know, you can, it's something about moving a mountain like one pebble at a time or something like, yeah, I don't know. Something along those lines. But it's true, like, you know, if you just keep working at it, you will eventually move anything, like any mountain. It might take a while, the mountain, but you keep working at it, you will get it there. So just never stop working on it. Just keep going at it. Keep chipping away, keep one day at a time. And eventually, you'll have something great. Also, if you make the mountain really small, it's a lot easier to chip away at it. Don't do what I'm doing, okay? I don't know if I can state that enough. This project is far too big. I'm a delusional idiot. There you go. 100%. I've pared this project so many times because the original versions were so big, and this new version is still very, very large. Best advice: make something you can finish in like half a year. Because I failed to realize just how much you're gonna have to go through and add quality to these things too. Because, you know, right now it's like there's things that just don't play well. Like the encounters everywhere randomly isn't even that great. Though it is funny sometimes when they just fling themselves off like that. I don't know what he was doing. But otherwise, it's like this. It's very inconsistent. They just constantly attack all the time. It's fun, sort of, but it could be probably more fun if they were like better thought out and not so random. Basically, random isn't fun. That's what I'm basically learning. So you do end up with weird things like that guy just standing on the couch. But it's not very useful because you can't really fight him on the couch, he'll just bounce. Being a small game, my small game is still probably... Yeah, it's not really a small game at that point, you know? That's a lot. That's a huge amount of work. And it's going to be unpaid too, so you're going to have to, you know, keep working away all that time. Like it's a lot. I mean, I've blown like a couple thousand hours messing with RPG Maker, I think, so I understand. But of course, it was also left open a long time, so I don't know how much that's true. But I wonder how long it says on that. Oh yeah, I had like 2,100 hours in MZ. Yeah, and then the other one I had more, I imagine. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know about Bite Me thing. Like, they do better with their YouTube. I'm not really much of a fan of them overall. I actually just don't like the one of the creators particularly. I spent enough time talking to the guy that I was like, I don't know about this guy. Warnick seems pretty good though, but I didn't spend a lot of time talking to him. But I don't watch their videos, so it doesn't matter anymore. I don't care. Yeah. But I mean, they're not wrong in that you're much more likely to be successful with smaller games because the you don't have to make as much, right? Like you haven't invested that much time. If you invest 100 hours into a game, the game barely has to make any money back. I got ad braked? No. We still ad breaking? No. Alright, well I'll get back to you in a second. I think this room is good to go. It looks like you can pass through it, no problem. I don't think it's seeing that it's out of place. So that makes this room here, which I don't think anything's out of place in this room because there's nothing to be out of place in this room. So as long as I'm... Actually, there's this. What are you? A movable light? I don't want a light there. It's a weird place for a light. Being for Albania, Jesus. Are you back? Leaving quality colors takes time. My goal is to keep scope small, then set folks in making it good. Fair. Well, that's the thing is, you know, the odds that you make a game that does well in a short period of time isn't very high. The game's not going to be very quality, of course. So for them, like, they might not have to make as much money, but their game is unlikely to really achieve much. And you only need, like, one really quality game to make a fortune. If the game is legitimately good, people act like good games get buried, but it's not really the case. It's just that their game wasn't very good. They just think it is. I mean, everyone thinks their child is beautiful, right? Even if your child is super ugly, everyone still thinks their kid is beautiful, you know? Like, oh. So, you know, just saying. Like, What is this for? Why? I guess it's over here on this. Yeah. Oh, let me load these in here. Music room. But, you know, I mean, legitimate quality. You do have to tell people about your game. Like, if no one knows your game exists, maybe it gets buried that way. Like, there are people who just don't advertise a damn thing. You're like, well, that's a bad plan. Don't do that to yourself. You should probably advertise at least some. But, you know, you gotta make some quality and then your game will stand out. Play tests are pretty good, you know, get people trying it. You have to have a game people can play too. Like, a lot of people don't have a game you can play at all, and they just release their game and they never release a demo, and yeah. But so many games, like, I would say at least 90% of all the games released on Steam are hot garbage. Like, they're just weird asset flip or experiment things. People just want to say they put their game on Steam, and there's nothing to really recommend it. It's a rehash of something and done worse, you know. You're like, oh, you got to do better than those games. It's not hard to do better than those games. Those games look terrible. We've all seen them on Steam. You don't even look twice at it. You just go, not interested, and move on because they look like trash. So I do think quality is good. I think that there is also a happy medium somewhere where, you know, you're not spending 10 years on your game. Like, I think 2 to 3 years is probably where you should probably aim for a good game. But I mean, to be fair, like, you take something like Silksong and they spent 7 years on that, so 3 guys, 7 years. It's a while. But, you know, they made enough money of their first game, which I don't know how long their first game took. Like Hollow Knight? I don't know. Probably a while. But most quality games are made by big teams that are they take 4 or 5 plus years. But as an indie, being able to commit to that kind of time all by yourself for so long is hard. Like, so much can go wrong. Just look at all my health problems. So much could go wrong in that time. And that's just not great. Not great. I'm double checking out this puzzle setup. Just because it was spin so long, I have to remind myself. Thankfully, I have a pretty good way of setting things up that's very easy to figure things out. And I have systems set up and like that, and things are very efficient. So even without a lot of notes everywhere, I can keep track of where things are, but I'll come back to it after 6 months and easily recognize where everything's were. I learned that after rewriting a bunch of RPG Maker's code, because RPG Maker's code is hot garbage. That stuff hasn't been fixed since, like, I don't even know. They were rehashing MZ from, I think it's like been 15 years or something. It's like the same code. It wasn't very good then either. It was ancient JavaScript, so didn't look anything like modern JavaScript one bit. Built as like a giant heap. Like, they didn't do modular coding at all. You're just like, no wonder every time anyone adds to this, it just falls apart. It's terrible. Who thought this was a good idea? Yeah. E3, F3, F3, E3, F3. Oh yeah, I made it real simple. Oh. Yeah. But it's not like I know how to be successful. I just know that if you're going to do anything, emulate the people who are successful. And don't emulate the people who aren't. Right? I'm not successful. Don't emulate what I'm doing. That's a terrible plan. Once I'm successful, then you can look back at all these things and go, he did this, and then you follow that. But until then, I don't know if I'd follow me what I'm doing specifically. It's like, yeah. Just double checking this still works. I still gotta add things in here. Right now it's just a button on the ground. It works, but Man, the music room's sounding like crazy right now. Hey, Balance. Next time. Oh, thanks for swinging by and chatting a bit here. Good to see you again. I'll have to swing by your stream. I didn't really watch anyone stream while I wasn't doing a lot of game dev because I didn't want to tempt myself into game dev, but now that I'm more back in the picture again, I can hit people's streams. I've been streaming most nights too, so, you know, about the same time. I'll be here if you're bored. That's a critical fail. I still haven't connected this to the ground either. I was gonna have pathways that go down below, but probably not at this point. Yeah, placing enemies strategically might actually just be better off of the new spawn system instead of random. Random does kind of suck. Oh, I can't make that jump. You have to do this. What's my background? If you're a game dev, are you going background? I trade magic cards for a living and sell them online. Before that, I did elder care. Before that, I did stuff. I have no background in any of that. I actually didn't really know like really what a variable truly was until like I had a concept of what a variable was. Like, you know, something being variable is obviously not that hard to figure out, but when I first showed up to RPG Maker, I had no idea. What happened was the nearby town burnt to the ground and we couldn't go outside. It was too toxic, so I was like, you know what? I always wanted to make a game, so I downloaded RPG Maker and started messing with it. Now I'm a renegade RPG Maker dev who's decided to, well, he's a former one, who's decided to make his dream game, Unreal Engine. Can't break this now, suddenly I can't get out of it. Interesting. In my case, everything is 5 years is character artist already, so I'm proficient modeling art at least. Yeah, I imagine so. Like, if you show up with any reasonable amount of skills at all, I imagine that makes it way easier than if you show up like me with nothing. It's like, well, let's see, I'm not an artist, and I'm not a programmer, and I have no level design, nothing. I'm just gonna build and go, okay. Now, a long time ago, I used to do advertisements, like for online things like that, so I do have a minor amount of art experience. No modeling experience at all, but that was back when I was designing websites in like more WYSIWYG things. Like I didn't really do any real coding per se, but I would design graphics for advertisements and the like. And they got seen by millions of people, so I mean, it's not like no one saw them. Just advertising banners at various websites. And that was like the most art experience I had. So I have a surprisingly good design sense for making things look good. But yeah, like if I'd shown up with any real viable skill for this, it would help a lot. I showed up with a half-written book and thought I was going to turn that into a game, which was a complete and utter mistake. Oh my god. That is dumb. You want to write a book, write a damn book. Books and games are not the same. Don't do that to yourself. This whole area works. I got the key, get out of here just fine. I can exit through the door, everything works. Actually, I'm going to tap all 4 walls too. I worked as a bunch of dumb crap over the years. But for most of my life, I've actually worked for myself. I already went out that window and it worked fine. I just gotta tap this wall. Actually, I already did tap that wall, didn't I? I never finished this. But yeah. But I guess that just shows like what I've achieved with no knowledge whatsoever. I taught myself JavaScript, mostly just by reverse engineering things, because I'm much better at breaking things apart and figuring it out that way than I am just reading books or whatever. Yeah. Well, the secret is find something you like doing, because that'll make a big difference. And the other secret is learn to save money. Like if you don't need something, don't buy it. Cut all extra expenses, because then you don't have to make as much and you can invest more in your business. Like don't eat out unless you have to. Don't buy expensive extra drinks or anything like that. Buy whole foods so you can now, you know, cook them yourself. Saves a lot of money. Be surprised. If you don't need a car, get rid of it. Cars are expensive. True. I mean, if you need it, you need it. Like some places you just know you can live without it. Oh, good. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. I eat a lot of rice and beans and stuff like that. It's pretty inexpensive. Makes me healthier when I do eat that. Whenever I try to branch out more, I tend to end up less healthy. So that works. I've tested the playroom. I think I tested the top half of the playroom and it seemed fine. I didn't make it all the way through, so I guess I gotta test that. Fair enough. Testing the top half of the playroom. Yeah. Anywhere you can cut expenses, I recommend it. Try to live someplace where your rent is cheap. Serviceable is good. And then you can work for yourself because it's, you don't have to make anywhere near as much money. Like if you live an expensive life, your business got to be really successful. If you don't have an expensive life, you can live pretty cheap. If you were in the US, I'd tell you about my life hack for the US and being a streamer trick, but like, I don't use the life hack because I have a business, I don't need it, but I've done portions of it. Of course, I guess that hack works exactly for, I don't know if it works federally here or if it just works in California. I think these need to be loaded in the washroom. Make a note to do that. I already deleted those, so I need to make one for the playroom here. When I go to do the actual test, I'm sure I'll have additional bugs in this room, so I might as well just have a listing for it and call it square. But not like, I guess I should say what the hack is, but like basically with how it works in California is you have to work 20 hours a week, but make less than $27,000 a year. So what you can do is you can stream on Twitch for 20 hours a week, and then you have a visual record that you've worked for 20 hours a week. Then you can apply for food, which should get you about $300 a month just for food. Cash aid, which I don't know, I've never gotten the cash aid, I have no idea. Free medical, and then you can apply for Section 8 housing to get reduced rent. And reduced rent usually ends up meaning you pay like, I think you pay a couple $100 a month for like, you know, a 2-bedroom apartment. It's so cheap. It's stupid. You just have to find a way to earn that much money, which makes it pretty easy because all your expenses are essentially covered. You'll need to cover your power, your internet, and like the couple $100 a month for your rent. And seeing as how that you get cash aid, the cash aid probably covers some portion of it. And the requirements to get that are you're poor. At least on paper. Then you can invest to make money, because investments don't count. Like say, I don't get taxed for owning magic cards, because magic cards are not a taxed item. So I can trade them and make money. Now I'm not actually getting all the free stuff from the, you know, the state or anything. I have gotten both of them before, because there was like 6 months I couldn't even walk. I definitely got like food stamps during the 6 months I couldn't walk. You try earning money when you can't even move. It's not working very well. That's how I learned. I was like, wow, this is stupid. Like, you can get all these things, and the only requirement is 20 hours a week of work. And that is any 20, like anything. It doesn't matter what you're doing. I got too close to her. So, fun things to think about. Should you do this? I mean, I don't know about that necessarily, but you can. I gotta select everything in these 2 rooms and just add them to the washroom, I guess. Select actors and data layers. As far as how Europe goes, I don't know how things are over there. I don't know what you do over there to make it work. In that case, I'm going to open a game hardware and party hosting service. Add 10 status, only a handful of things to get running. Oh, nice. I mean, more power to you. I may need a bio break in a second. I'm out of water. Most unfortunate. The thing about working for yourself is that it's hard to take vacations like that. You're basically... I tell people that I have all the time in the world to take vacations in town. Like, I can't really go anywhere, because I have too many things I need to get done. And if I go anywhere, I don't make any money. So, when I decide to leave. But there's also a certain point where you can overwork, too. So you got to decide where you really want to be on that, like how much you want to work versus not. And it's just kind of, you know, whatever makes you happy, right? But if your, you know, bills are low, that does make it a lot easier to not need make as much, for sure. Yeah. The thing is, like, there's a lot more like time to relax and just live your life when you have a regular job. And working for yourself, you don't get that. So it's actually can be stressful in a way, depending upon if business doesn't go very well. Suddenly you have no money, so you want to make certain you save as much as possible, because if you've ever had to survive a time where you had to, you know, tighten that belt, you're just like, okay, well, the next time I want to be certain that I have a backup plan in case something goes wrong. And so I don't spend money at all if I can avoid it. I'm so cheap. Hey, business boy, yeah, it can be tough. It's definitely not as easy as you might think. Once you're successful, keep doing that. Diversification is not always the best choice. I found that to be the case too. This is the track from later in the game. Well, my perspective later in the game. I might change it up. Ah, she got me. He's fast now. I made her so much quicker. She might be too fast for this particular area, because I didn't really test her on this one there. Also very satisfying. She have to work from us. Oh yeah, I mean, to a point. I guess it depends on what you do. I've worked jobs for myself that weren't as satisfying, and I've worked jobs for people that were more satisfying. It just depends. Some things are naturally more satisfying than others, for sure. She's so quick now. She might be too quick. Open the door. Run quicker. He's terrifying. Get away from me. If I didn't open this door, so now I gotta run all the way around. She'll be so creepy when she has voice lines. Oh my god, it's gonna be great. Oh, no, no, she's nearby. Run away. I saw her legs. Run. I find what I do now is not the most satisfying. I used to really enjoy trading. I've always been very successful at it. But it's also just tedious. I don't really recommend it overall. This is actually fast proving to be a fairly solid fight. I know where to go, so this might be incredibly hard otherwise. Okay, this quiet music backed up by the loud music is weird, or the fast pace music. I saw those legs. I wish I had an extra area in here, but I don't really. You have to go everywhere, so I don't know if that key is really such a weird thing. She kind of has a hard time getting through the doors. I can't wait to see someone play this room who doesn't know where to go. I really want to see how it plays out. I really do. It does seem surprisingly pretty difficult in some sections. And if I stop for long enough for her to catch me, like, it would be pretty bad. There's the key over there, good. It's okay that she clipped through walls because she's a ghost, so... The only reason she doesn't just grab you through the walls is because there's rules, you see, to this game. Very important note, there's rules. It's a maze. You're not trying to be, like, you're supposed to explore. It's a Metroidvania. So... I'm not supposed to tell you where to go to Metroidvania. You're kind of supposed to look around, right? Most rooms are actually treated more like puzzle rooms than actual anything else. Like, it's not like those, you know, the AAA games now where they're like, they just cram a stick up your ass and just drag you along. It's like, well, here's yellow paint. Go here, go here, go here. I hate that. But most Metroidvanias really don't give you direction. They just say, yeah, go, you know, just, here's your general idea. I mean, there's only so many ways you can go. Because you got to remember, each room only has so many doors, right? You got to figure out which doors you need to go through. And if you don't have a key for a door, then that way it's just kind of locked off. So, oh, well, I have the washroom key. Because I obviously started from in a room past that point. There's way of sense of direction, like difference in aesthetic, lighter props that you decide which assets are potentially interactable, which aren't. Basically everything's interactable. Also when you mouse over things, they interact too, but like you can pick up and throw things, you can interact with drawers. I mean, like, he tells you early on that you can do these things. You can interact with light switches. Oh, I mean, early on it tells you, like in the very start of the game, it tells you can break the vents. Like in the first room, it tells you can break the vents with one of the weapons. It just flat tells you, and you have to break the vent to progress. You just cannot bypass the vent. You have to do it. I'll make you break a handful of them too before you're even able to go beyond. There's like 3 of them you have to make before you leave the first room. But this is much farther into the game, so I'm not explaining to break the vents now because you're way farther into the game. By now you've broken plenty of vents. Like the first room has tutorials. Actually, the first handful of rooms have tutorials. But by now you've fought 2 boss. Like, this is the second boss fight. I mean, what counts as a boss fight? Obviously, it's Charlotte playing a game. It's a boss you don't directly fight so much as run from. But by this point, you're over an hour into the game. You're probably about, well, it takes me over an hour to get here and get everything. So I imagine a normal player who has no idea what to do will probably take a lot longer because it is not completely obvious where to go. But there are only so many doors, so again, like, if you can't... Like, this room here has only 3 ways out. And if you don't have a key for something, then you'll mouse over it and be like, don't have key. Well, you'll try to use a key. It just says, nope, don't have it. And I gotta load this in too. I should make it where only the visible stuff is loaded in. Not everything in the rooms. So I probably should go back and fix that so that the washroom doesn't load everything.
Are you? We're all mad here. Me?
A lot of people say Dark Souls is a raw experience because it doesn't tell you anything. Actually, Dark Souls is one of the better onboarding experiences. Oh. I mean, like, I explained all the mechanics to you, and you can just open up the tarot card thingy like that, and there's explanations for what things do, and they need to be rewritten so they're a little better, but I've also changed a lot of the systems along the way, so they're not as accurate as they could be. But once you get into the real meat of the game, unless you're given a new ability, I just kind of turn you loose. Right? Like, if you're given a new ability, here's the explainer of what it does, and the room, like, I include ways, like, you can't beat the room without using that ability. Like, when you get the Empress, you're going to have to grow and shrink plants to get through the room. You can't do it otherwise. So I teach them that way. Same thing when you get the Fool, I make you break a bunch of things to get through it, so you get an idea to swing the Fool around. Have signs everywhere saying things. There could be even better. I mean, could be more of explanation. I haven't put story in yet. So it's mostly just like signs, places, and her talking at you. They can do these things, like tutorial type things, sort of. But mostly they're just in the game. There's not one in the Hierophant room yet. No explainer for what it does yet. Because I haven't gotten that far yet with the explainers. That's the one that does possessed objects. But I also get the feeling that the player will be able to activate it and see that, hey, wait a minute, these things happen, and they can also look at the directions, like, you know, that it says in the ability saying this is what it does. But I do want an explainer for that. But I just let you wander around. Like, you'll figure it out. Half the fun of these games is just wandering and exploration. It's kind of like Skyrim. Skyrim doesn't tell you where to go. You know? I mean, like, the same kind of mentality I like to explore. This isn't an open world game, but it is a Metroidvania, so it does have that DNA of exploration. Can't say I've actually played Dark Souls, though. I've seen people play it. I was talking about it earlier where I didn't actually, I don't know what it is, but I just never got into it. Like, you'd think I'd like it because on paper I like everything about it, but I just never got into it. Like, I like hard difficulties, I like the aesthetic of the game. I mean, I like open world games. Well, I guess that one's not open world. I guess Elden Ring would probably be, on paper, the game I would like the most, but I don't know. I just never got into it. But I could definitely use some direction, I'm sure, early on. Well, there's a character who lives in the paintings, and she's also going to do a lot of talking, and that's not in yet either. It's kind of to help the player along, like explain kind of what the player has to do. Because there aren't many people to talk to in this game, since most of the toys are crazy. Or on their way there. She's a ghost in a painting and not a toy. So she's different. And like you're different too. Yay! That key works fine. I need to load this into this room though. Yeah, both these rooms need to basically be loaded in there. Yeah, I know you hate splines. I need to merge the splines together at some point because the H-load system hates splines. So it errors until I do that. Doesn't really affect the game, but crap. But not like the first room here. I do make people explore a lot. I really do. It's dangerous to go alone and take this. Just simple signs everywhere explaining things. I wasn't gonna have players that talk like that, but having her read signs like it's some sort of a game. Jump on this, press me. I mean, you know, there's I was kind of going a bit overboard some of these early explains here. Signs just saying what to do. They don't go away. You can just read them whenever you want. I do need to go through and fix a couple of the reminders because the reminders never go away. That's on my list of things that need to be fixed. I should actually be focusing on this area, like, you know, up to the Patrick, because that's actually what the demo is going to be, is all the way up to Patrick and including the Patrick fight. And everything I'm doing beyond that is like part of the first chapter, which is not, most of that won't be in the demo. Like everything, the chapel onward is not in the demo. So I don't even need half this crap. I think it's because I'm dragging my feet on story. Part of it's I don't really understand how to do cutscenes particularly well. For sure. Oh, I didn't grab this yet.
Open up the tarot menu, then click the
Right, she actually talks there. I need to get a bunch of AI voice recordings for that because I'm gonna have placeholder AI stuff for the playtest versions of the game. Once I get the dialogue exactly as I want, I'm gonna hire voice actors, but you know. That's always off. I have considered putting some cracks in them. I could remodel them to do that. But then the other question is why would there be broken things? I mean, the Crush keeps rebuilding the stuff, but why would the stuff be broken, I guess? Like, I mean, it's supposed to look like a normal... I mean, some things, even this room wouldn't make any sense for a normal thing. I guess kids could crawl around through it. Maybe. Yep. I gotta make Tinka float around, too. I'm making her an actual sprite, so she actually is really in the paintings. Yeah, you have to break through more than 3 of them, I guess. You can break a bunch of these little things before I let you through. For some reason this one doesn't load in there. I need to fix that. Yeah, I put a bunch of signs early on to explain everything. I'm even checking out keys and things too. And like say I'll have AI voices like that for when she would talk to these things, but if you get close to the door, she explains stuff. So there's a bunch of explainers for stuff. And in this room, there's only one way to go. Like you can wander around a bit here, but you'll quickly discover you have to go through here because there's just nowhere else to go. This room's very linear. You also don't have to get this key. This key is an extra key that you can get if you wish. I do need an explainer about ducking right there, though. It used to be the earliest duck point was later. Yeah. Well, I just wanted to show that I actually do have it. It's just that, you know, what we're looking at the game, it's... Because, I mean, you know, you could be right. I could maybe need more explainers. I don't want too much explainers, because like I say, I like the exploration aspect. It is possible that I might need more. I think the really telling thing is going to be when I have someone play it for the first time, besides me, and see if they get lost or not. Because it is a very real worry that I have that maybe it is too hard to figure out where to go. But it really doesn't open up all that much. Well, I guess the next room is actually kind of obnoxious to figure out where to go, because it doesn't necessarily explain everything. You're still in the one room. But you can also go multiple ways in this room. Like, you could go up here. You can also fall like an idiot. And you see one of these capsules. And you obviously stepped on a button to open the other capsule, so they figure you probably forgot that you can open a button. Now this does explain about these walls. I need to add more of these in. Tells you to stand by it and wait, and they open up. Those need to be added more all over the game. Weird hidden walls. I already explained how to jump on a button. He actually has two things she says if you're like far away or not from the doors. I think this room should be okay. I think the first disconnect is going to be right here. Well, not falling like that, where sometimes it just grips the side, which is kind of a weird thing. Right when you get the magician, I mean, they will have to wander around a little bit to... I guess they got a message by the drawers earlier. That's a good question. Because now she's like, says, you know, when we're going to open those drawers with this new power, door, no, targeted, press the attack button. I mean, I'll probably change what it says a bit, but that was my initial quick thing like that, so. So there might be a disconnect here and where to go. I wonder about this room, probably the first time when the player has to really think about it. I don't explain that you can turn the light on, I guess, but it does make an icon when you mouse over it, so maybe? There's actually two ways to reach this area. You don't have to go this way. You could have jumped up on the pipes and run through them like that to reach over here. Without the magician, you wouldn't be able to get beyond that. You need the magician, so. You gotta climb a bit because I can't break it from below. I do need anything out here explaining about the city just for fun's sake, but I mean, I think it already tells you can't go off the building. Or will tell you with the story. So I don't know, I think it'd be okay. I have explainers pretty well up to about that point, but I definitely think that beyond the demo stuff, I don't have explainers. I don't have anything explaining a lot of things. That's not true. The playroom has some explainers, I guess. There's no explainers for the Hierophant. There's... I guess Temperance doesn't have any explainers, but Temperance is just a weapon that you just use, so I think you can figure it out. There's only 2 buttons. Press them both, right? I mean, it'll say in the tarot thing what they do. Something to think about. But right now I just want to make certain that everything works. That's kind of where things have been. I guess I can just load the playroom stuff into here. I need to make that when you walk through the doors you can see the stuff load in. At least for the important rooms here. Like Charlotte's bedroom I still haven't finished yet, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about that. Well, I mean, I'm not sure what's gonna be in it yet. Also, this room is painfully boring, so it probably needs to be reworked. It's just a little waiting room like that that blocks off the Forbidden Toys room anyway. I think I'm taking some lessons from like Hollow Knight, where it's they kind of just drop you off and let you explore the cave. Wow. Honestly, I guess I'm taking more of a lesson from Symphony of the Night and Bloodstained, because I much more idolize those games than I do. I famously don't even like Hollow Knight, so I got bored after a few hours. I think just the aesthetic and wasn't very exciting to me. Just was visually not very interesting to look at. Was my problem with it. I probably just need the top stuff here. I mean, at the very least, those need to load in. And I don't need to load the entire room. Like I did with the washroom, which was a mistake. I should have only loaded in a few things that were necessary. And everything else should have been like, nah, we're good. You can see pretty far. Oh. Excuse me. Acid reflux. Damn. Be like that. See if I care, buddy. Yeah, that's a lot of popping. Guess I just... Yeah, I get it. Guess if I load the smoke in over here, maybe that would be enough. These are really hard to click. Or I just load the whole room and call it square. It is 2 rooms. I could probably just do that. This room's still got barely any assets in it anyway. I could unload things if I need to make it better or not. And for the Forbidden Toys room, select all this stuff here. And we just do those for the staff only. And then for the Forbidden Toys room, we just load in these few things here. So it looks like everything is good to go. Do this. I can't just select everything in there because it's now got the assets for the other ones in there. Should be good though. I think that's everything. This. Gotta do my data layers. I mean, given how many things are loaded in the second chapter in the Hidden Grotto, this should be no problem. I love me some data layers. I guess I didn't add everything on those ones, huh? I did. I gotta add this, that reverse. Huh. My factors and data layers, I thought I got them all, and I added them to the staff room. And then guess I gotta individually select these again and add them backwards to the other one. Not the whole building. Not the whole building, just the painting. I mean, technically, from here you could actually see through into there. And from up here you could also kind of see into there too. Whatever. There's not that much in here. I'll take a bit of a bio break here in a second here. Looks like not many people actually currently watching at the moment anyway, so it might be a perfect time. If the numbers are even remotely believable. Yeah, that's pretty good right here, just walking out of these rooms. Perfect. Technically the washroom and the music room could be loaded together, I suppose. It is. Yeah, because once you get the washroom key, you could actually progress to the music room if you want. That's true. Oh, I didn't think about that. So if you happen to die after getting through the first of the playrooms, but you don't open up the door to the second one, you can actually just go the long way around and skip that whole area, go through the library and the music room. I forgot about that. I never go this way because it's never really relevant unless you're me. Actually, there's no more reason to go this way. It just makes sense that the, you know, the washroom would be connected to places where people sat. I'm gonna take a quick bio break real fast. I'm out of water and need to hit the restroom anyway. So I'll be right back. We can all stare at the moon for a bit or something. Yes. I'll even hit G so we can hide the thing like that and we can just see the city. Good times. Actually, I'll just let her sit there. We can stand on the thing. This will be my screensaver. Right back. Guess it's tracked as a loop. Huh. Fair enough. Can fix that. It's actually just there for a quick little thing to show on social media time when I was showing up the city. I did consider having a fight on the rooftop, but I don't think that's really going to play out like that. Probably not. Oh, that's the room infograph. It's in the data layers, I think. Yeah, room info plays music. Room data, I think the rooftop's all the way at the bottom. Yeah. I couldn't remember the name of the track. Just saved my life, so you know. It should just be this and looping, yeah. All it takes, and now it loops. Scary. Okay, so now I can progress through those rooms there. And I was gonna load those things there, so like, it just fixes a lot of the problems. Most of these rooms are probably about how they're just gonna be, and I might add some additional accents to them later. But I don't know, I've changed the Moonlit Garden a bunch, so it's possible a few extras might get added in, but I think largely they're about where they're gonna be. And then, yeah, just keep adding crap to them. But at some point you have to move on to the next stuff, right? So I can actually go here and type in music room. I can actually load the music room first so it actually counts. I don't want to select anything in the asset layer because it's got stuff from the library, but I can just do this. Blanking. Hey, what? There should be a select all descendants. I just didn't have it selected. I was like, I know there's a select all descendants. These aren't in here, huh? Oh. Let me fix that. We're not in the magic room, or magician room either? Okay, good. Perfect. Anything else in the wrong location? Oh, these ones are too. And that? Nice. You never have to organize the project. I guess you probably can, but I've never seen it. And then add all these to the washroom. And then washroom. Oh, good. Oh, I guess this is not supposed to be in there. Why are you in the washroom? You shouldn't be in the washroom. Unselect that? That's just an error where if a brush is selected, then it keeps it selected. Ah, Unreal 5.7. You have problems. Add this all to the music room. This memory hold this door even existing. Nice. I probably want to unload the smoke going through things like that because it kind of goes to the walls. And that's not what I want. Wait, what? Didn't I add everything here? Oh, it's just taking forever to load? I'm just taking a beating here. Probably says level 0, you know, in an area that should be level like 24 or something. No, level... No, 15 or 16. It actually is nice that the shortcut even exists. I didn't think about it. Makes sense, there's no popping. Yeah, I think I don't let the smoke in. I think I just leave these out. Maybe I just don't load this one. These are the Charlotte spawn points, aren't they? I think so. I think it's these Charlotte smokes. I should not load these. That'd be a bit of a pop-in in some way, but unless I just don't load this one right here. Maybe I do that, and it'll just make it look a little nicer. Has to be this one here that I think is loading. Yeah, smoke 5 just needs to not be included, I think. Just accept that that's a bad decision. Why can't gases obey physics in this? Yeah, it's much better. I want to put enemies that are more interestingly placed. I think the painting blockers and the whole system that involves them is so much better than the system for just randomly spawning in enemies, I think. Enemies can be so much more obnoxiously placed and have attacks that are more consistent with a specific spot. You can't really see into the washroom particularly, so that should be fine. Because by the time you're here, it loads it already. So that should be fine. Now that I remember the door exists, I fixed a lot of the loading problems that were like, you know, the outside here looking in. There's a bunch of things that have been on my list of things to fix forever, and I just never have. I wonder if the fight against Charlotte's harder or easier than the fight against Voodoo. I mean, they're just such different fights. Are you just tripping out, Unreal? Is that what's happening? That was this tripping out crap it's doing. Unreal's so weird sometimes. Just does a lot of fidgety crap in the background. It says someone followed the channel over on, it was a day ago on Twitch. Not Twitch, sorry, now. It looks like they did it when I wasn't streaming? I don't know, I didn't get notifications. It must have been when I wasn't streaming. I don't know what to do about this room yet, though I do know these need to all be data layered. That makes sense. I've only selected one of these. They don't need to be loaded all the time. That is heavy. I'll worry about data layering in this one as soon as I figure out exactly how the room's going to look, because otherwise I have to remove things and do all that crap multiple times, so no point. That'll be the end of chapter 1 in this room here. When you start to learn more about the story, or more about Charlotte, I should say. If you've dealt with her for, I don't know, a few rooms, including one boss fight. Oh. And then I guess I gotta look at my list of things I was supposed to fix and see if I can remove any from my list. I had so many of them. All these playtest notes. I think this should be fixed already. This I did fix. Still working on it. Haven't done that yet. Things I haven't done. I did remove that. Since I took flight out, it doesn't matter. SCS reflex tonight. Terrible. I used to drink alcohol to try to solve that, and it worked pretty well, but I'm trying not to drink a lot of alcohol for it. It kind of makes me feel not that great. Don't worry, I'm sure a bunch of water will help. Reflex worse. Some of these are super far in. I haven't seen 2 Charlottes in the library yet. Interesting. So I want to move to my other documents real quick. We got different docs for pretty much each of the chapters. Chapter 4 has a 15-page doc. Hey Sarah, how's it going? I'm fixing bugs. I'm doing quality of life things like making all the rooms load when I go between them. Like everything from each data layer is there's no right data layer, so you can there's no pop-ins. And putting things in the right location so I can successfully go between locations without problems. Because the room info is way off. Yes. Speaking of way off, the first room had a problem that I just saw a moment ago. We're only in the carnival room. Yeah. Also needs to be in the new life room. And probably the magician room too, because it'll pop in, yeah. I want to get back to where everything was before I rotated the building. And fix a few other bugs along the way. It's all just pop-in bugs, basically. No, that doesn't pop in all weird. They should make the doors have a skeleton key option. Really? Really? That's when the random encounters are exciting because they just walk up behind you there. He's like, I didn't plan for one there. They just show up. That's just better. Yeah, so no problems on that. I think everywhere is currently fine for pop-ins at this point. I think I fixed everything. Well, at least in the first chapter. Second chapter is much more of a dumpster fire for sure. I could go through and place things in the right locations for chapter 2 to work. It's not really progressing my gameplay test at all. There's definitely a problem where if I spend so much time in that first area, then I'll have like this great first area, but then the rest of the game won't have been made. It'll be this Herculean task to finish, or there's that whole I could just spend time finishing the rest of the game. Then the first area won't be quite, it won't be as good. I can go back and improve it later. So that means that the playtest will take longer to happen. But I won't end up with that thing where I've only made the first portion of the game and then the rest of the game is still waiting. Which I think could easily be what would cause someone to stop stop working on the game. If you just literally spent so much time in one area and then forgot that the rest of the game needed to exist. At least that's my working theory on it. At least now that should all work. Then there was chapter 2. Chapter 2 is not that incredibly far off. It does have some rooms that need a few more objectives in them, and they just need to be made a little more interesting for sure. The polish is just not even remotely there in chapter 2. And Tilly's not even made at all. Like, she has no combat whatsoever. I'm not gonna do that tonight. No, that'll be a different night for Tilly for sure. I gotta be in the mood to do a whole lot of boss work on that one. I also need to settle on exactly the abilities Poppet has beforehand. Can't make any changes later, because if I do that, then I'm gonna need to make Tilly's new micro combat account for those, and that's rough. Make changes like, you know, 11th hour changes. Oh, I see, because it's loading in the city. Don't let us pop, man. What's this from down here? Hey, fog. I think it's in the first chapter. Oh, Charlotte's room doesn't have these fogs added to her data layer, does it? Well, let's fix that. Don't want them perpetually loaded. Fogs are not free. How's this room doing? I should probably just go through each and every room, make certain all the room infos are where they're supposed to be, and then I don't even see the room info for this thing. There should be two. Oh, I know why, because hit the game button. I'm like, wait a minute. Something is missing from this, yes. It looks like it's in the wall, that's what I want. Okay, it looks like it's way off size in this direction. How about over here? Are we just like in Stupidville? Oh, I think I know why I did that. Now it's because when you would leave the room, Charlotte would vanish. Not really a mechanism for her going outside unless I keep the room counting as outside as a part of the room. I really wanted it to go out the windows and then pop back in them. But unless I extend the room out, the system is rigged to despawn anything that's not tied to a particular room. Yeah, there's gonna be like play tests. And, you know, like, first it'll be like, you know, like some local people will do some play testing for me, like, you know, like friends like that. And then I'll probably open it up to supporters to play test. And then, like, you know, because Steam lets you do an unlimited over play test, so I'll do play tests through Steam. And then I'll do larger play tests after that before the demo ever happens. Because I guess this Steam hypes up play tests like they're a demo. And then the demo will happen. Well, it was supposed to actually be around October or whatever the next fest was for fall, but since I lost 6 months of dev time, it's just not happening anymore. Not. I'm so far behind. Like, and the demo's only a bit to Patrick, so I really could just be working on that and making that play testable. I probably should be. But as I was saying, then I end up running that potential risk of the game getting of me not getting enough done and it being like such an insurmountable amount of stuff left. It's like, do I want to do this? I think I'm just going to keep her in the room. I don't think I want her to go outside the building. It's too weird. Makes no sense. Yeah, there will be a demo. And all the supporters are going to get a chance at it before the regular people, for sure. Well, the playtest version, I should say. The demo will be eventually released for everybody, but early playtests will be much more exclusive. It's 40 tall. Let me do this, I get a better idea of where it's really at. Though I might try to rush the playtest by the end of summer. The first playtest. Just lock in on the next couple months for something, because I really just need some like placeholder story things like that and just some polished things, and that should be enough for people to play test. Like I just need like some explainers and things. It probably won't include any real story, just like enough to get the job done. Done. But I'm not really that far off of that. I could easily have that together, and I'm just dragging, I guess. As I work on chapter 2 and a fight that is I'm not sure how many hours into the game this fight is. Quite a few. I'm gonna guess 3.5. I don't know, I haven't really timed chapter 3 out very much, but well, I mean, no, it can't be 3.5. Maybe like 3 hours. Somewhere between 3 and 3.5 hours. I think is how long it takes to get here. Because I think it took almost 4 hours to do everything and get to the end of chapter 2. And chapter 2 wasn't exactly finished at the time. Actually, most rooms didn't have anything to do in them. Just kind of things to jump on. That's where I got all the way to the lobby. Then failed to find a key because I didn't put the key in, so I couldn't get to the last room to complete my objective. And then 6 months later, I still haven't done it. Haven't been dev for a while. I kind of miss it. Yeah, it's fun. I had to get myself back into it, and streaming helps because without something to really keep me here, I kind of didn't know what to do. But now when I'm just sitting here, I just kind of work on whatever. Right now, I'm just fixing so many problems that were created by fixing the map. Map works way better now. But man, I created some issues for sure. But it also doesn't really make a lot of money to do dev, so, you know, I understand why you wouldn't necessarily work on it all that much. It's kind of one of those things where if you got the free time and you feel like doing it, go ahead. But otherwise, probably better uses of your time if you need money. If you don't care about money, then, you know, dev's great. 10 out of 10. Why would... Hate money, therefore do dev. Perfect. Actually looks pretty good. I mean, other than it's too short now, but I'll fix that in a second. I'm building a company for my wife for us to prepare to sell a game. Oh, well, nice. I mean, you know. You got someone else to help do some of the labor, you might as well. If I had a significant other, she'd be involved for sure. For sure. Why not? Well, I guess Tilly's after, but you probably have about all the Sally's Blackheart stuff by now. And a bit of that. Can handle exactly, yeah. That's one of the things I have right now is there's so much to do that it's just I do whatever I work on whenever I work on, and it's just kind of like convince myself to do it sort of thing. There's so much to do. Where are you at? Where's the water? Alright, well, there's two problems in this room. I'm gonna go tap the walls first, then I'll worry about that. Yeah, there's just so much to do that it's just... Yeah. Too much. So if you could have someone else to help out, that'd be nuts. That'd be so good. Tapping the walls, tapping the walls. This window is way off. I don't know, that keeps happening. It's weird. Window seems fine. Yeah, so all the windows seem perfectly good. That's because the location for this is set to the wrong way. That's reflex is the worst. But yeah. I don't know. I considered having my physical therapist, you know, potentially help me on this sort of project too, as far as, you know, writing ideas for Poppet. Like, well, I was just gonna add, she has like the exact personality I want for what Poppet to be. And I thought about like telling her various story bits and seeing what she would do with doing them, like getting her to talk about that. So I was like, you know, for writing a female character, this is harder than I think. It'd be nice if I could find someone local to do voice acting too. Someone suggested a theater group. You just talk to a theater group because they charge less than voice actors. And, you know, you can find local theater groups who probably just want money. I could probably hire them for pennies on the dollar. Get them to record whatever they want, and they're already all very good at doing those things anyway. I mean, consider that, like, the entire cast of, like, what Has Been Hotel were just, they're Broadway actors. They weren't even, like, you know, voice actors. They're Broadway actors. So it's like, you know, these people are used to doing all the acting thing, and not all voice acting, it's just acting in a booth, so I bet you these people will do it, and I'm right next to a university. And I bet you the university has all kinds of, you know, drama club crap. They would probably be super excited. I could probably get them in for way cheaper. Also, computer school, I bet you I could hire those people locally too to do some other stuff. I might do that. But the thing is if I hire people in California, they're subject to the laws of, you know, here. I can sue them if they screw me over. If I hire someone in some other country, I can't do that. They can just screw me over. There's nothing I can do about it. I really like that idea. Plus, I can also talk to someone in real life. You know? Hear me out on this one. It's kind of nice to talk to people in real life. I know. It's weird, but hear me out. You could talk to them. They're real people. Oh my god. Yeah, I might start getting some people like that, because I realize there's some things I just can't really do myself, and other things that I'm not sure there's enough time to do it all myself. Be 100% fair. Especially given that I seem to have health problems all the time. Or I can just get myself one of those Russian brides, right? And, you know, import her and she can work on it. The mail order bride. Nah, I don't think that's a very good idea. She'd probably just beat me up and take the game, I don't know. Nah, a lot of those Russian women are pretty hot, but right now there is kind of a whole war thing. Probably a bad idea. I should fix that. And Charlotte's spawning in I don't know where. That's not what I want. So neither of you spawn her in anymore? Is that a thing? That's weird. Well, that explains so much of why she's not there. Unless the Poppet Master does it? Hmm. Yep. Definitely thinking higher local. Now this weird Fiverr crap or God knows what. I've actually had women volunteer to voice act Poppet. Only problem was they were all trying to date me and I didn't want to date them, so that didn't really work out. It's just like, oh, nope, you're crazy, lady. I don't think so. I'm good. I'll live. Far, far away, I will live. It's fine. Oh, yeah, I do spawn in one of these. Alright, so I need an object to act as my pointer for where they're going to spawn. And the object will just be the character itself. I gotta set it to be creepy flying and not this weird, like, it was one of the pre-made character thingies. They had a movement system that was set up for flying. It was some sprite thing. It's such a weird looking flying thing, but why is she so small? In the answer here, it says she should be a 4.6 for a capsule size. She should be huge. And yet she is tiny. What happened? It just shrank her down. Wait, what? Look at this. I put this out here. He's huge. And then... why did you shrink? Click on her. I don't know why it was shrinking the other one down. The second one isn't shrunk, so that's good. And then I had... Oh yeah, the light cubes. You don't actually need the light cubes anymore. Like when I won the whole fight against I can't think of anyone's name now. Against Sally without having any light sources, because the Hierophant could trade life for sanity. So I was able to shuffle. The fight was really hard that way. It was, but it showed me that the fight was very winnable if you can win the fight without any light sources at all. Because one of Sally's mechanics was to take away the light sources, and you had to keep using the Hierophant to bring it back. But apparently, if you're savvy enough, the thing is broken enough you can pull it off. It just meant you had to constantly, you know, keep balancing your healing, your... Actually, all three stats. Keeping them all topped off. While taking a serious beating from Sally. Alright, so I planned for how many movable light cubes? I guess I get to rethink some of these areas here. 4 of them, huh? I wish I remembered where they were at. I'm pretty certain there's one near the beginning. Probably about here, I guess, so you can see her. That's a reasonable location. I wish I had moved these to the up higher on them. Instead of having the cube more centered like that, like so it'd be easier to place, but I didn't, so, you know, whatever. This location here. Puppet Master. Put it in number 1. And then I guess I'm gonna have like one on each of the walls essentially. Like I hit one I think back here. I thought there were keys back here too. But I don't see any keys. Or like a button or something. I know that there's buttons up here. But you need them basically for down here, sort of. You don't actually necessarily need them though. I mean, with the advent of the Hierophant, you can kind of get away without movable light sources. Which makes me kind of wonder if the Hierophant's too good, but you know, whatever. Is what it is. Yeah, I could hide a light back here, making it more interesting, and then put another light somewhere else. I had one over here previously in this general vicinity, so we'll put one here. Get the second slot. Don't have to rotate them because they're a cube. That's always nice. I don't think there's any cubes underwater. You're meant to throw the cubes down there, but if they ever hit the water, then they respawn back to where they were. So, kind of a thing. But I'll just put them in these weird locations for a bit. Maybe I'll hide something back there. Yeah, this new system is so much better. Man, I had to fix a lot of bugs with it, but it went like about a week ago. But the fact that you can just kind of spawn things wherever with it. Pretty good. It is possible that everything should be built around this instead, for sure. I might be able to take a bunch of lights out of the game with, like I say, with the Hierophant existing. It's possible I have too many lights in general. How much harder should the game be? I don't know. And do I need a game journalist mode for, you know, when they play the game? That music for a second. I should blank this window, the door there, so you can't see in this room. I also need to get some music specifically for this room. Maybe one of the pirate musics or something. This is approximately what you would be at. Oops. Hello. How's you? Very good? All these windows need to be fixed. Oh yeah, there's no city out here. Oh, that's right. I didn't have a thing to stop you from being out of there, so you don't ever leave the thing anymore. Why can't I grip you? The hell? That's weird. Maybe it's because I'm too close to her and the smoke is screwing with things. It's possible. Probably it. Hello. She's so big. And she's ginormous. I think it's that one. He's above me, it's fine. I do need an explainer for red light, green light here, but that's not now. Also a different picture for that. Actually, I should write some of this down. Hey Sam, you need help, huh? What do you need help with? Not saying I can't help, but maybe I can help. Just depends on what it is you need help with. Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. Cancel chapter 2. Not what I was hoping to do. That's on me. Let's see. Those on one side are out of place. Need some kind of micro room outside the ledges. The still count as Pirate Cove. What other thing was I missing? Can I make it look good? I mean, Monoton's putting lights where you think lights should really go, like where they would naturally go, makes a big difference, I think. And it's hard to describe how to make something look aesthetically good versus not. I mean, you know, A lot of times it's just experimenting with putting things in places to make them look nice, honestly. Versus anything else. I know for mine, I just bought Ultra. That's kind of a crazy picture. I just bought Ultra Dynamic Sky, and then I was able to adjust all the stuff on that and save myself a lot of time and effort. Be surprised how much you could do with that. That was pretty good. I can't recommend that software, not that plugin. That's not even a plugin. Actually, it's just that asset enough. You're seen as leaking? What do you mean by leaking? What's that? Oh, I was actually supposed to go up that way. I guess I gotta lure her away. Come with me if you want to live. Little cube. I don't know. The cube's not alive, but I think it's caught on the buildings, isn't it? Oh, Charlotte, where are you? Hello. You stay there. Uh-oh. Blocking myself now. What are you saying? I'm seeing like it's leaking through the wall. It's probably something like poop. Well, if you have the geometry brushes won't block light. So if you're using geometry brushes, you need to turn them into static meshes. Static meshes should block light. That's just how the system works, but geometry brushes don't really. As far as your post-processing, you can do anything with post-processing, so that doesn't help to say it looks like poop out here. Like, oh, I wasn't paying attention. Oops. She doesn't have a kill animation. No, I lose. I'm so bad. I guess I'll fix a couple things and then continue again. Edit building. I guess when you're trying to accomplish things, maybe remove the post-processing. Post-processing is not always necessary. Like maybe you just don't need it. There's also light blocking volumes too, for that matter. So if for some reason you can't get the light to block, you could put a light blocking volume in. That should be all I need for that. What is that called? Light blocking? No. What is it called? The volume. It messes with light. I don't even do light mass importance and things like that, which messes with it a bit, but I don't tend to do a lot of that. I kind of just put the lights wherever I want to go. And don't really care too much about that. That's true. But I mean, maybe you can find a YouTube video on how to like do really nice lighting. Like, it's pretty hard to just say, hey, this is how you should do the aesthetic of your game. That'd be my advice. Just go look for a video explaining how to do really nice lighting, I guess. And make certain your stuff actually blocks lights. Which most things should. Except for geometry brushes that are not. Most geometry brushes don't do it. That's true. These do not fit. Anyway, hopefully any of that helped. Hopefully. Also go buy Ultra Dynamic Sky, and it'll save you so much effort on doing all your stuff. It's so nice. It's so good at what it does. Not sponsored. If he wants to sponsor me, that's fantastic, but you know. The whole lighting system and everything is just done off that. Well, not, it's not right now. The level is just being edited, but this whole thing here, the whole lighting thing, like the stars and all that, the clouds, all done to Ultra Dynamic Sky. Dude programmed everything except for meteor showers. One day I will get my meteor showers. I requested it many times. He says there's problems with that. I still want it. You can actually make your own ghetto meteor shower by simply having, you know, some kind of light objects with like a little bit of a trail behind them, just like a particle behind them, and a spawner that just spawns them randomly and have them like their motion set to fly in a direction. I've done that before. You just have hundreds of them just raining down. It's not memory efficient at all. It did look really sweet. It was for a scene for the other game I was making that never ended up happening, but I'm just like, yep, just pew, pew. It's actually like basically firing projectiles essentially, but across the sky. They just gotta be big projectiles. Big and way up there. Alright, so anyway, what else was I fixing about this room? I kind of want little tiny things out here so she can kind of float out here, I guess. I just need a micro room, so this just counts as Fire Cove. I wish they could have 2 rooms that they were in, but the room check doesn't really do that. And if I adjust that thing, it might reset a whole struct. And I don't like that idea at all. But the room spawned in had was just an array of rooms. I could actually check the whole array and see if that's the case. That means that the Charlotte could follow you through rooms, which would probably be more interesting because there's definitely another point in the lower decks where she can't really follow you into the rooms because of the way I have it set, where if she ever leaves that particular room, then it'll despawn her, or if you leave the room. And that's not ideal. I probably do need that. But I don't want to do that right now because I've done a whole bunch of things like that and haven't saved it. And if it does reset all this crap, I don't want to have to redo it all manually. It probably does. It probably resets a bunch of the stuff. It definitely resets room spawned in for every one of those. Yeah. Yeah, that's a to-do list. It'll be a tomorrow to-do list option. And so far, this system is getting smarter and smarter and smarter. And it's a pretty smart blueprint. It really is. It is literally the AI for all of the enemies in the game, the spawner for the enemies in the game. It also manipulates any of the puzzle things that have movement as well. And it even manipulates the faces, so the faces all turn towards you. Because I used to have a thing where each individual face rotated towards you, but that's way more intensive than having this thing just turn objects towards you. So it's like the second smartest blueprint I have behind Poppet, who's obviously half the game. Interesting things to think about. Super smart blueprint. Snap, crackle, and pop. I thought that was just for cereals, but apparently it's also for me. Anyway, we should probably call it here. Not a huge amount of people watching at the moment, and gotta get to work and I have 8 hours, but I also have to sleep before that. 8 hours before I need to meet someone. Yeah. Oh, new minion. Hell yeah. +1 to the Discord. I should have recommended to that one guy to join the Discord so I could help him after. If you're still watching Sam and Samurai, you can join the Discord and I can help you after. A little easier to help when I can see what you're working on as opposed to just guessing how to make the aesthetic of your game look better. Yeah. Anyway, I should be back tomorrow. Roughly 4 hours before this. A little less than that, actually. Like 3 hours and 54 minutes before this. I'll catch you later, Lepus. Thanks for hanging out. Hopefully you can get back to dev soon. Yeah. And everyone else who watched, you know. Thanks. And see you tomorrow, hopefully. Maybe. I don't know. If not, you know. Thanks for being here anyway. So, see you.